Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be learning about copyright. We're going to understand copyright, what it means to protect your own creations, and how to respect other people's creations. This is something I worked alongside talking to Miss Stewart in order to prepare you to learn about copyright. So, first, the question is, what is copyright? Copyright is the legal right given to creators for protection of their own original works, such as literature, music, art, and more. Now, it's not a professional creator, it's anybody. So, copyright 101, kind of the basics of copyright. Copyright is a special law that helps protect creators' work like books, music, movies, and art so that others cannot copy or use it without permission. Think of it like a no trespassing sign, but for creative stuff. When someone makes something original, they automatically get a copyright, which is shown by the little C symbol. There's also one down here at the bottom of the page. This symbol, the copyright symbol, tells everyone that the creator owns the right to their work and it cannot be copied or used without asking first. Just like you wouldn't want someone to take your toys without asking, creators don't want their work used without permission. Copyright makes sure that hard work is respected and protected. Now, you as a student, as a child, as an adult, has the right to your own work, even as simple as like a 1-year-old's finger painting. That is protected under copyright. It is your own work and it protects it from somebody making an exact copy and saying that they did it and selling it or producing it. So, why is copyright important? Copyright is important for a lot of reasons, but the main three is that it protects creators' rights to control and profit from their work. The second reason is it encourages creativity and innovation by ensuring creators can benefit from their efforts. And the third reason that why copyright is important is it provides a legal framework for resolving disputes over the use of creative work. So it not only protects it, it enables you to sell your own work or someone to sell their own work and profit from it. And also, if it comes up that maybe someone is copying someone else's work, there's legal laws and rules behind it. So there are some rules to remember, just like with most things. 3 important rules I think it's really important to remember with copyright. The first rule is only the creator or those with permission can reproduce, distribute, or display the work. That means that if I was to draw something, that you cannot just take it and make copies of it and, for example, hang it in your bedroom without asking. You would have to get my permission, and then I could tell you, yes, you're happy. I'm happy to let you copy it and hang it up, or no. The same thing is you cannot just take maybe someone's poem that they wrote and rewrite it in your own handwriting and then turn it in as a project because that poem is under copyright law. It's protected. Number 2, the second rule, copyright lasts for the creator's lifetime plus an additional 70 years. Now that varies from case to case, but that's the general rule. So that means that even if maybe, let's say you found your grandmother's old diary and you decided you want to make copies of it and sell it, or copies of it and turn it in for a writing project, that is not allowed unless she has, it's been 70 years. But it is protected a person's entire life plus an additional 70 years. And the third rule to remember about copyright is it does not protect ideas, but the expression of an idea. So you cannot say, well, I had the idea and you copied it. It has to be written down on video, a piece of music, an artwork, a poem, a book. You actually had to put kind of the saying pen to paper. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the fair use doctrine, which is kind of the exception to copyright. So, certain uses of copyrighted material are allowed without permission under the fair use doctrine, including commentary, criticism, news reporting, teaching, and research. So, some examples is quoting a book in a review or using a short clip for educational purposes. So, for example, if I'm teaching a lesson and I really like a quote from my favorite movie, let's say, I can put a quote from the movie, but I cannot put the whole movie. Okay. Another thing, I could pull a line from a book and use it in a book review that we're going to write, but I cannot put the whole book. So it's a short thing that you can use: commentary, criticism, news reporting, teaching, or research. Basically, if you're referencing it, that's a good way to think about it. How to respect copyright. The first thing, very easy, is don't take work that's copyrighted. But some things, how to respect it, is always credit the original creator. Kind of, we always cite our sources. You want to cite and credit where you got the whatever it is you used. The second thing is you should always obtain or ask for permission before using someone else's work. So going back to the example, if I made a piece of art, you can't just make a copy of it and hang it in your room just because you like it. You would need to get my permission to hang up my piece of artwork. And the third thing on how to respect copyright is you should use public domain or Creative Commons licensed materials when possible. So there are things like on Google, when you go and Google maybe dogs and you want to use dogs for a presentation, you need to look if the image is copyrighted or not. A lot of images are public domain, which means they are open to anyone to use without permission. You can make copies of them, use them in presentations. Public domain is available to use, but if something is copyrighted, you may not use it. You have to get permission. It is a protected piece of work. So now you may be thinking, well, what happens if you do copyright? So let's talk about some consequences of copyright infringement. So there's kind of two sides to this. This side over here is copywriting in school. Some consequences, and this could be outside of school as an adult, maybe. So first, let's talk about in school. If you copyright in school, you could, and you do it on purpose, you could get a 0 on your schoolwork with no chance of a redo. Each classroom kind of has their own rules, but I know Miss Stewart, that is the rule in her reading classroom. Another thing is if you continue to copyright, you could get an office referral or you could be put on academic probation, just depending on case by case. And then in the real world, copyright could lead to three big consequences. There could be legal penalties, which means you could pay a fine, or you could go and be in a lawsuit and have to go to court, depending on what you copyright and who the creator is. If you are using copyrighted things, it could damage your reputation and your career. Nobody is going to want a worker who is using something that is someone else's and they claim it as their own. That is just not how that's not how you work respectfully. And the biggest thing is you could lose your trust and credibility. That's in school and outside of school. If you continue to copyright, no one is going to trust you and they're not going to think you're credible, whether it is something you created or not. Finally, the biggest thing with copyright is the rules you should understand and respect that copyright is crucial for both protecting your own creations and respecting others' hard work. Copyright is put in place to protect you as an artist and creator and to protect others. So we're going to just go back very quickly And this, I want to highlight this one more time. This is the copyright sign. So if you see this, that means it is protected under the copyright law. Okay, so understanding copyright. Copyright is to protect your creation